Welcome back, guys. Today we are going to be working on putting in an ARB twin air compressor system. I've also got the 813 fabrication and design bed mount box. This thing's going to be awesome. We've got a 3-gallon air tank that we're going to work into our system as well. So let's take a look at what all we have here. So in the box you get your compressor, a whole bunch of wiring that I have no clue about, which is why we got Matt. Fittings, and then we've got our, like I said, 3-gallon tank and our 813 fabrication and design bed mount brackets. Also, while we're doing the wiring, it's going to be a perfect time to tie in the wiring for our rough country bumper for the 4-inch fog lights on it. So we're going to do all the wiring at one time. I'll show you some modifications we made along the way after looking at it all to the way we want to put it in versus the way they want to put it. So we'll get everything spread out and ready to go, and we'll come back to you and start putting it in. Okay guys, so let me explain some of the stuff that we've already done in preparation for this. I already had to take off my bed rack for the simple fact that you have to take off this rail with this particular mounting solution, because these holes here use your mounting hole you have here and here, along with this big hole. And for me, I didn't get a rubber bumper like another video I seen to keep my mount from vibrating, so I drilled a hole and put a M6 rib nut in to secure it here as well. Yours may vary. I've seen a few different ones. Evidently the latest version doesn't come with it. So now what we're going to do is take our air compressor and lay it over here upside down so that we can flip this over, pick out the appropriate holes for where we want the compressor mounted, secure it, and then we'll go to securing this up here into place, something in that fashion. So let's go ahead and get to work, and we'll come back when we got something new. All right. Okay guys, so we've gotten the bar off, we've gotten the compressor mounted up where we want it. Everything's ready to start wiring in the electrical. So Matt, my electric guy, and editing and all the other good stuff I don't like, is going to show you guys what he's doing there, what the plan is, and I'm going to transition into the role of gopher and hand-me guy. All right, Matt, so show us what you're going to do, or whatever you're going to do, and let's go from there. I'll let you have this side so you can show.
Alright guys, so kind of a quick overview. I actually have the other Gladiator that you've seen in some of the other videos. I already mounted one of these, except mine's mounted into a deck system, into the ammo can. So the way we're going to mount this, we're going to mount it in that 813, the 813 fabrication box. And to start, we've got the plate mounted, and just to show you, We've got the 4 screws that hold it in. It holds everything secure. It does really well. And then here shortly, we're actually going to have to modify the wiring harness. And so if you're getting the ARB to actually put in for yours, unless you're going into the back of the Gladiator, this isn't going to help you a whole lot because we have to really modify these wiring harnesses. So we're not following the directions, and I'll explain all that as we go through it. That said, I'm going to show you the rest of this. So what we're doing is we've got the air compressor, we've got the plug that goes to it, and the control plug. The control plug, or the power plug, is just going to run straight to our little studs right here, okay? We went ahead and mounted 2 studs in here, and we've also got 2-gauge wire that's coming from the very front of the truck through the little hole right here, and it's going to run up to here, and this is going to serve as our power point. So our compressible we hooked up to it, and this is also where I've decided to mount the lights for the bumper that we installed before. So this is the little wiring harness that is provided by Rough Country to put this in. And again, we're actually going to do the reverse lights, turn it on, and a switch will turn it on. And all that's going to be controlled through the wiring, which I've already modified this because it took me a second to figure out which way I'm going to do it. But the quick of it is when you actually pull this off, one of your wires, you have a red, a blue, and a black, or a white, a blue, and a black. I'm sorry, a white, a blue, and a black. And this is what's supposed to go to your switch. So if you run the switch that they have, by all means do it. You just plug it in and you're good. We're actually going to connect it to our faux switch. So where this white and this blue go in, we had to take the white out of the red, because it's in the same as the red, and move it to where the blue is. So that way they're both setting off the relay in the same spot. So from here, we're going to start working on some of the wiring and running the wiring and actually mounting the plate. So we're probably going to do all of that and get that done while we're still on time lapse.
Okay.
Sound like a deal?
Works for me.
All right. As you saw on the time lapse, we did get the bar back on. We've got the 813 base plate mounted. And just a few things to quickly go over. Because of the way we're doing this, I'm actually giving options to expand further. Again, that's why we have the 2-gauge wire that we're going to run up through here. And I didn't explain earlier, and I'm sorry. This is actually my first how-to video I've ever done. But we've got these bus bars that are going to be here. And that's what we're going to run everything off of. These are just the ones that we happen to find at Advanced. Advanced, I think is where we got them. Advanced. You can go with the other ones that are longer, that have 3 or 4 or whatever it is, if you decide you're wanting to expand further. So as we get into this and once we get the cover on, I can actually show you where you can add things and have more options with this particular box. But again, outside of that, I do have the 2 studs to get us started. And then my little relay over here is actually the relay that's going to power the bumper lights. So these are set up. I will get more specific on what to hook up, what to change, and everything else that we're having to modify for this specific setup. Other than that, we're going to go to a quick time lapse, and we've got to run this 2-gauge wire from the battery at the front all the way back to this little bitty hole up here. So that'll probably take us a little bit, so we'll be back. so this is where we're at now. We've ran the big, huge wire from the battery to here and got them on the studs and got them already connected. I'm not connected to the battery just yet, just so I don't blow anything. I've also got all the reverse lights connected to the tail light. By the way, if this is what you're deciding to do, the white wire with the gray stripe is the reverse light. So all you got to do is tap into that and run it to the relay in order for it to use the reverse lights. Other than that, you just run your power wire from your switch to the relay and that'll control your lights. Or you can do both like we've done. So next we're going to do is the wiring harness that goes on the bottom of this. This big huge plug right here is this big huge plug over here. We're going to work our way over here. All right, so this massive wire is the wiring harness. You got the one plug that plugs into that, and then you've got the two fuse blocks that go in it. I think they're 45 a piece. Maybe they're 25. They're 40 a piece. So these are fun. We actually have to rewire these in because we don't need all of this. So I'm going to start working on that on time lapse because it's going to take a minute. So I'll get back to you guys once I get all this short, okay?
Hang on.
Oh.
Let me ask. So on this, you're going to take the red ones and run to the red one, correct?
Yep.
And the black to the black.
Yep.
Nothing special, nothing fancy.
Nothing special, nothing fancy. It's just a straight circuit.
Okay.
Because this is what's providing power to the air compressor. Sorry. And then it has its own switch.
Okay. All right, so let's do that then.
Okay. Alright guys, I've got everything shortened down. I took about 4 feet off of this, put the ring connectors on it, so this is all my pigtail I got left. So what it's going to do is it's going to go plug right in here and then come up around and connect to the two studs. We had to pull this off just a little bit because I have to get behind there to get some zip strips to hold this on, but that's the only thing. So I'm going to hop off here and get all this stuff put back together, okay? Alright guys, so we got all that hooked back up. We got all that put back together. I've got all the power going from the power wires through the little fuses into the power switch. The only thing we got left is our control switch. This is the wiring harness that came with the control switch. Now, if you are running air lockers, or if you're running dual isolation switches or any of that, you're going to have to find another video to watch. All this goes to the switches. So these will go to the regular switches or your isolation switches for your solenoids that will control your air lockers. This is your isolation switch to keep them from coming on every other time. We are not using it because we do not have that. This is the other wiring harness. This is the one that's actually supposed to go all the way up to the front. We are going to use this much of it. That's trash. That's all I need. So we're going to strip this down. It's got a black and a purple wire. There we go. The black wire, actually I need to cut a little more off of this. The black wire goes to a ground just like normal. That way it can close the switch. And the purple goes to the back of your switch. Now, you need to pay attention to the wiring diagram because it doesn't say purple on here. The purple runs to this part, or to the other part that we threw away, but it goes across to the red. So on the back of your switch, however it is you're going to mount it, your two top ones are going to be grounds. So you need to make sure you run another ground from your actual battery ground to both of these. You have your ignition wire, which we ran from the front. We've actually connected it to the VO switch as a safety switch. But your ignition wire is going to go to the middle one, and then your switch wire goes to the bottom one. And then we'll get it all put together. So I'm going to get the time lapse going. I'm going to get these last few connectors put on, and then we're going to get everything all switched together, okay? All right, guys, I know it's dark out. We've tried to get this done as quick as we could today because, I mean, I'll head back later this week, back up to where I'm at. But we're already to the front. We've got everything done in the back. We're just getting the wires hooked up. I can't do a time lapse on this, so I'm just going to briefly describe what we're going to do. We've got both wires coming up here. In my honest opinion, you should always put a circuit breaker in there. Yes, I know you have the fuses back there. In our instance, we're actually running other things off of the power points back there. So what we've got is we've gotten one of the waterproof thermo circuit breakers, or whatever they're called. We got a 50 amp, and all you do is you just take your connectors, you cut your wire, you put your connector on there, and you put it on each end, and then you run it over to the battery. This is just going to kind of help protect the battery and all your electronics a little bit more. If something was to happen, your alternator was to surge, your battery was to get too hot, anything else, this is going to help protect all the rest of it. So that's the reason that we're putting it in there. But we're going to put this on real quick. The back of the truck is actually in the garage, so we have better light. So I'm just, like I said, explaining this. Once we get this on and everything's good, we'll go back to the back of the truck and we'll test it out for the very first time, and hopefully it doesn't blow up. You guys, we're back. We got it all put together. We've got the tank on top of it. I guess all we got left to do is try it out and see if it works.
Yeah.
Are you ready?
Yeah, I mean, I ain't done nothing all day. I've been a gopher. So, yeah, I'm ready to do something. All right, I'll hop up there and see what it does.
Yeah, go ahead, start the truck and turn on your safety switch.
All right. No bang, no bang, no bang.
There
Well,
we
this,
have a leak somewhere.
Okay.
Hold on. All right, guys, we got it on. We got it going. I've got a small air leak somewhere, so it's either somewhere that I have not taped well or something. But anywho, that's all of it. We're gonna go through, re-inspect it, but we basically have everything. You just plug in up here and you're ready to go.
Yep. Pop-off valve finally went.
So it looks like the cutoff for the pump will actually go off once it reaches a certain pressure, and it looks like it's right around 160.
Unless you accidentally touch the pop-off valve that's set for 150.
That gauge could be off a little bit too. It's old.
Yeah, it's an old gauge, so it could be off by 10 pounds. But for right now, it was something to just throw in there. Make sure everything works. I'm going to get some better gauges. It works. That's all that matters right now. It's ready to go use, minus a little bit of an air leak, but let's be realistic. I'm filling it up to air up tires, make that easier. I'm gonna bleed air off of it quicker than it's gonna bleed air off. So for right this minute and tonight, and this video is concerned, we're gonna call it good and move on to the next project, whatever that is. So I guess if you don't have nothing else, I don't, and we'll get out of here. Good?
Sounds like a deal.
All right, guys. Once again, thanks for coming and checking us out. Thanks for watching, Matt, because you didn't really watch me today. But we'll be back as soon as we can with another one, and hope to see you there. Later.